everyone, I'm Darcey. For the past 2 years, I have studied anthropology at UCL. However, now, this is where I live, Amsterdam, my home for the next year, studying at the University of Amsterdam. Moving abroad can be really challenging. New friends, new culture, and new modes of transport. Speaking of, Amsterdam transport is so efficient. Not only does everyone cycle everywhere, we also have a really well organised metro, tram, bus and ferry system. Furthermore, you have to adapt to new cuisines as well. And trying to find where everything is in shops. For example, why are there so many types of peanut butter? And how come it's Dutch delicacy to put some sprinkles on some bread? And my personal favourite is when I spent 20 minutes looking for pesto. Anyway, with all that being said, mentally and physically move into Amsterdam with me through the challenge of becoming comfortable and combating homesickness. As even though I'm not too far away from the UK, how everything is done is so different here, so it has been a huge adjustment. So the first thing that I did to combat homesickness was do activities here that I would normally do at home, so I've become more familiar with my surroundings. Best way for me to do that was through sport. So I downloaded an app which meant I got a free Pilates class, and I got on first name basis with the instructor, which is never a good thing. I mean, look at my face, that just sums up how hard it was. Also, I've been running a lot. I'm doing the Amsterdam half marathon in a few weeks with my mum, so this has been great training. Also, there's so many great routes in Amsterdam, so I've been really enjoying that. I also joined a free run club. They gave out free coffee and cardamom bun, which was the only thing that was going to get me out of bed at 7:30 in the morning. So the second thing I'd say is find a cafe and do some work in there. This is something I would do at UCL regularly, and it makes me feel a bit more comfortable in the surroundings. This is a student tea cafe near me, and actually you'll be surprised how few places in Amsterdam actually allow laptops. Another thing I'd really advise is speaking to your friends about how you feel. I've got great friends here, and I've really, opened up some about how we're feeling about homesickness, and a lot of them feel the same. And even though I'm only 40 minutes away from home, the culture shock is very real, so it's been great to speak to them. Doing activities with your friends is not only a great way to get to know the city, it's also great to communicate how you're doing. Checking in with friends is so important. Another thing I'd advise is just to romanticise uni life. It can be hard, there's a lot of work to do, but I'm so lucky to have so many beautiful campuses around Amsterdam that are all a short walk or cycle from each other. And this is the university's brand new library. I'm so lucky that I came when I did, because it's been under construction for 6 years and only opened on the 1st of September. So yeah, being on campus is a great way to arrange study dates with friends. And as we're entering autumn, a coffee from the student cafe has never seemed more appealing. Especially because all the students here sit on the canals and eat their pastries, it's so lovely. This is Criterion, one of our student bars. It's a vintage cinema, and some people actually have their classes there as well. My next piece of advice to combat homesickness and also make yourself feel comfortable is just to get to know your accommodation, no matter how abstract it is. I live in a very edgy accommodation, as you can see. So yeah, decorating my room and adding objects I'd have in my house back home just really made me feel more familiar in my surroundings and less homesick. And now I'm quite proud of the wall that I get to look out from my bed onto. It's quite groovy and I'm really enjoying it actually. There's also lots of flower markets in Amsterdam, so I've been carrying plants all around the city. Obviously Amsterdam's known for its tulips, so the flowers here are really, really fresh. Furthermore, decorating my room here has made me feel like I actually live here, I have a purpose, I'm not just a tourist. But my biggest advice of all, even in the torrential rain, is to explore. Explore, because that's how you get to know the place that you're living in and really embrace all its good and bad parts. And stay curious, because you have no idea what you'll come across. The year abroad's all about putting yourself out there into new situations. What I just showed there was me at a flea market that I just happened to come across, and I got to speak to a really nice Dutch lady who told me all the recommendations and all about her life, that she's lived in Amsterdam. And yes, the weather in Amsterdam is not great, so you might ruin your favourite pair of shoes, but I think it's completely worth it. And in typical Dutch fashion, get a bike and explore even more. Never stop, but don't do what I did and fall off your bike head first on a busy street. Would not recommend that to anyone. However, again, in typical Dutch fashion, you just get straight back on the bike and carry on. Another big part of moving in is just exploring unique events in the city you're in. So what I'm doing here is going to Europe's biggest flea market, which is on Noord, and they do a free ferry over to Noord, and it's a really, really quick 5-minute journey, and it was great. Of course, lots of classic Dutch items are being sold there, such as clogs. I didn't buy those, unfortunately, which I now kind of regret. Also a unique thing to the city, my friend for her birthday rented a canal boat out, and it was during sunset, so we got to see it in the day and the night, and we just brought some picky bits onto the canal and had some drinks. Also, people on the canal were singing happy birthday to her, like just walking past, which was so funny. We also went to an amazing free jazz event called Bim House. And after all those events, you'll feel like a local and you start bringing your own beige food to campus. And then when you start to feel like a local in your own city, you can go visit neighbouring cities, an example being Leiden. Leiden is another university city and the campus is just absolutely beautiful. or take a visit to Utrecht, which is home to another university and beautiful canals. There's also The Hague, which is the diplomatic capital of the Netherlands, which is known for all the parliamentary buildings, and it has a very lovely beach. I hope you enjoyed my tips and also seeing how I dealt with moving to a different country, dealing with the culture shock, and also combating homesickness. And hope to see you next time. Tot ziens!